Okay, let's do this. Maybe this will help a little bit. As long as the Zoom call stays fine, I think we're good. Checking on the Facebook here as well. I mean, it's a little choppy on my end, but it looks like the Facebook is fine. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say that it is working, which is a dangerous thing to say sometimes. But again, this is the game plan. Here with Luke Young, we're live at Chelino's Mexican Restaurant in Yukon, 1227 South Garth Brooks Boulevard out here in Yukon. It is $8.99 enchilada day over at Chelino. So all the different kinds of enchiladas on the menu you can get at a big discount. Perfect night to bring the family by, to bring the kids and get yourself in on that great deal. We're going to be here for 2 hours, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. today, talking about literally everything in sports right now. It feels like everything from pro football and basketball to the college level of those sports and to local and breaking news. We've got it all covered. Again, 2 hours. So we're going to have roughly 20-minute segments here covering each topic, and we'll even have some guests come on later on in the show. So thank you to everybody for tuning in on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk. All right, so as we get into it, thanks to Chelino's for sponsoring the show. First Wednesday of the month, so we're back out here, one of our favorite places to be, looking at this menu here. As I pull up my handy dandy menu, some of those enchiladas that you can get at a nice discount here. The enchilada dinner, the avocado enchiladas, Marcelo's enchiladas, Nino's favorite enchiladas, which is 2 cheese and onion enchiladas with chili sauce and 2 eggs. If you're in for that one, you got the eggs coming at on Nino's favorite enchiladas. But a bunch of different kinds of different meals on here. And of course, with $8.99 enchilada day, it's always a great day to get enchiladas. I've said it before doing the show, but my personal favorite pick are quesadillas. That's usually my go-to at any Mexican restaurant here. But I can say I have had their enchiladas before, and they are very good. So thanks to Chelino's. We're going to start off with the local sports. Going to get a little bit of a preview of the football matchups this week, as well as the upcoming basketball season. Some athletic awards have been announced for different players around the Bethany High School. We're going to cover all of those starting right now. Let's go ahead and start with some of those awards I just mentioned. So if you follow the Bethany Broncos Activities and Athletics Facebook page, you get to see these posts there as well. Great friends of ours. We help them out every now and then. Let's start with the band, actually. It looks like the Bethany High School band had some players go to the honor band for OSS, Oklahoma Small School Band Directors Association. That's what it is. That would be OSSBDA. All right. So there were 5 players, and Carson Bell, the percussionist, got first chair, making it onto the honors band. So congratulations to him. I was a percussionist when I played back in high school myself, so that's awesome to see. It was Brianna Velasco, a clarinet, Carson Bell, the percussionist we just mentioned, Fatima Ibarra, a percussionist as well, Evelyn Garza, percussion, and Nigel Espinosa, a jazz guitarist. 5 band members getting all honors, all honor band honors, I guess is the way you would say that. So congratulations to them. That's pretty cool to see. It is that time of the year here for the fall semester where all these fall sports and fall activities are getting their awards announced. And we've got even more for you here. One team we're hoping to have on later on for a coaches show is the Palm Squad. And Hallie Hungerford was named to both the 2025 All-West Region and 2025 All-State Palm teams. Hallie is performing in Tulsa on December 13th with the All-State Palm members, which is super cool. I had no idea they did that. Can you go out to Tulsa and make a big trip out of it, performing on All-State? Congratulations right there to Hallie Hungerford. Again, hoping to see Palm. We'll try to get stunned, maybe some cheer on a coach's show later on, so stay tuned for that one. That one's in the works. And our last award that has been announced recently, softball senior catcher Madison Bibbs was selected as the Oklahoma Fast Pitch Association All-State Player for the 2025 Middle West team. That is, she goes as a utility player. So congratulations right there to Madison Bibbs. I mean, the awards and the honors just keep on coming in for Madison Bibbs right now. I mean, don't take my word for it. If you watch those games we live streamed, if you're keeping up with the awards, If you're keeping up with the news surrounding her, she's going to play on the next level. You know what kind of player she is. She's legit. This is just another well-earned award for Miss Bibbs. Again, 2025 All-State Middle West. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty cool stuff right there. Keeping with the local sports, now that we've moved through that, hopefully some teams that are going to get a lot of awards this season as well are getting ready to start a little bit under a month now. The basketball teams, both boys and girls, start on December 2nd. We're at home versus Crossings Christian. That kicks off the season again. That's December 2nd. We've got a nice little list of games to get off the season before we go to Christmas break and winter break. Crossings on the 2nd, Star Spencer on the 5th, and Kingfisher on the road. That's on the 9th. So 2 home games and then Kingfisher on the road. Then we've got a tournament out in Duncan, Oklahoma from December 11th through the 13th. Then we come back home versus Woodward on the 16th, Southwest Covenant on the 18th, before ending the winter semester there, or I guess I should say before ending 2025 on the road with Harding Charter. That is on December 19th. After that, obviously, Christmas break, winter break. No one's around, and I can't say I blame them. Basketball at the end of a break until January 6th. And from January 6th onward, both boys and girls high school basketball is in full swing up until the middle of March. 2.5 months of just straight basketball action at the high school level. And we've got every single game covered right here on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk. I'm going to be out there broadcasting with John Hickman, combining 2 of our football broadcasts into one basketball broadcast. Always love to see that one. I've been covering Tuttle football for those not in the loop, and John Hickman has been covering Bethany football with John Campbell. So I'm meeting up with Hickman. We're going to get out there and cover a lot of basketball games. Should be a lot of fun because they've got some pretty great teams coming up for this 25-26 season. And we are eager to get out there and cover them. And speaking of basketball coverage, Bethany High isn't the only one getting some basketball coverage in here. I am in the works to get out and cover my alma mater, Southwestern Christian University basketball as well. We're going to try to do a bunch of their home games since they luckily fall mostly on weekends and days Bethany High isn't playing. The first game it looks like we're going to get for Southwestern Christian University Eagles basketball will be November 15th, where they start off at home versus Oklahoma City University. If you know anything about the Sooner Athletic Conference, Oklahoma City is a well-established school in the area. They have more championships than I can count. They're a big rival right here for teams like Southwestern Christian, who comparatively are the young bloods, and teams like Mid-America and University of Science and Arts, those historical powerhouses in the conference. So meeting Oklahoma City University at the beginning of the year will be a great early test for both the men's and women's squad. And I'm going to get to be out there and broadcast on one, it sounds like. So that action will be on both the SAC Sports Network and on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk. 2 different ways you can tune into that game. No blackouts here. Not going to have that problem. Cough, cough, YouTube TV. No blackouts for that one. You get to see all the college basketball you want. And keep an eye out on that. That schedule is going to be a little bit more up in the air for a little bit, but we'll let you know what we're carrying when right here on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk. All right, let's go ahead and look at Friday's football matchup for the teams we cover here with our last little bit of time in segment number 1. Tuttle football is over at Hera to round out the season. Tuttle is shooting for an undefeated regular season before heading to the playoffs en route to what they hope is going to be a state championship victory. Now, the fun part about that one is that if Hera loses, it creates a 3-way tie for the 3rd seed in Class 4A District 2. Now, I did get a text from my co-commentator, Bryson Colwell. He tells me this. Tuttle has locked in the number 1 to no one's surprise. Ardmore has locked in the number 2 seed, and it's Blanchard, Bethany, and Hera battling for number 3. Now, the way it works is that the head-to-heads are all tied. Bethany beat Blanchard, who beat Hera, who beat Bethany. So it goes to district points. There's a point differential involved at the second stage of the tiebreaker, and this Tuttle-Hera game has a lot of sway on that one. If Hera loses bad, they could find themselves the odd man out here. Bethany is stuck somewhere around -1 points. And if Tuttle beats Hera big, pushes Hera below that number, I mean, it's going to be like a crazy, 50. What was the last one? Like 56, something like that, something up there, something crazy, getting into the 60s to 0. You have that really big point differential. That's going to shoot Hera right underneath both Blanchard and Bethany. They're going to find themselves missing the playoffs. So Bethany looking for a little bit of help still, but very much where they want to be. Well, I won't say where they want to be. Maybe they would want to be number 1, but still in a good spot. Across Class 4A elsewhere, and again, thanks to Bryson for feeding me this information, Ada gets the number 1 seed with a win, and if Poto beats Broken Bow. The number 2 seed goes to Ada if they get a win and Broken Bow wins, and they get the number 3 seed with a loss, but if they lose and Broken Bow loses, they could still wrap up the number 2. So there's another very, very close district race in Class 4A. A lot of the classes, a lot of the districts in, say, Class 6A1 are kind of set in stone. They're not having quite this race go down to the final stages, but that's not the race we're getting in Class 4A right now. That's 2 districts out of the 4, whatever we have, that are coming down literally to the last game of the season. And at this point in the year, why would you want anything different? This is November football at its finest. Now, speaking back to that Bethany game, I mentioned that they can't improve their district points anymore, and that is because even though they have 1 game left, it's against Medill. Medill, earlier this season, forfeited a game, which has meant that every game they had played before and after that no longer counts towards anybody's district standings. So even if Bethany goes down and wins, it's not going to matter for the district playoff scene. It's not going to matter for, potentially beating a tiebreaker. They just got to go down there and kind of use it as one of those, what you call those get-right games before the playoffs, make sure everything is firing on all cylinders, everybody's at the same page before you head off and do the playoffs. John Hickman, John Campbell are traveling down to Medill to cover that game, so we're not losing that one either. I'm going to be over at Hera with Bryson. We'll be covering the title game. So no matter where you're tuning into this weekend, great football games on the high school scene. And if for some reason, now I'm not saying you should, but if for some reason you don't want to listen to us, you could tune into that Ada game because it sounds like that's going to be a very, very fun one. But you shouldn't. You should stay with us on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk. Hey, we're at Chelino's in Yukon for this episode of The Game Plan. 2-hour show for you here going from 5 to 7 p.m. Going to get a guest on later today. Thanks to Chelino's, 1227 South Garth Brooks Boulevard. You can call the restaurant at 405-350-2006 or go to the website, chelinos.com. It's $8.99 enchilada night. Of course, that covers everything from the enchilada dinner to the Marcelo's enchiladas and everything in between. We're going to send to our first commercial break of the show. When we come back, we're going to talk some more local sports, but kind of get things into the college scene as well. So don't go anywhere. More after this.
The parking lots are full because it's always a celebration at Chelino's Mexican Restaurant in Yukon at 1227 Garth Brooks Boulevard in the Chisholm Shopping Center. With a traditional flair of Mexican casual dining where your meal always begins with complimentary chips, cheese, and salsa. Then a lengthy menu selection from fajitas, tacos, enchiladas, fish tacos, and so much more. You don't have to be shy at Chelino's. Ask for our daily specials and finish your meal with our sopapilla or pick something from our dessert menu. Oklahomans have chosen Chelino's Mexican Restaurants in Yukon at 1227 Garth Brooks Boulevard in the Chisholm Shopping Center. Call 405-350-2006.
Shop small, shop local, and at Prairie Winds Market at 501 South Mustang Road in the Old World Plaza in Yukon. You'll find over 20 local vendors featuring vintage items, decor, gifts, as well as dips, mixes, and sauces to candles, flowers, jewelry, and much more. Come on in and shop. You may find that item you never knew you needed. Locally owned and operated, Prairie Winds Market at 501 South Mustang Road. Call 405-467-4375.
Come see us down at Smoothie King. We have 2 amazing locations to serve you. 5914 Southeast 15th Street in Midwest City and 5921 Southwest 3rd Street, located right in the heart of Oklahoma City. Folks, we have the awesome Dude Perfect smoothie. We have wonderful enhancements to get you ready for your workout. Rule the day. Smoothie King is your one-stop shop for delicious smoothie action. Come see us at Smoothie King.
Name brands and more for less at Victory Mattress Outlet. Welcome to Victory Mattress Outlet, 7101 Northwest Expressway in Oklahoma City. Family owned and operated Victory Mattress Outlet has options for every budget, like quality 10-inch beds to high-end luxury mattresses fit for a king. You're the winner here. Shop pillows, protectors, bedroom sets, and more. And remember, the friendly people at Victory Mattress Outlet can help deliver, assemble, and set up your mattresses and furniture. Call 405-510-6988 and never pay retail price for top brands again. Victory Mattress Outlet, 7101 Northwest Expressway, 405-510-6988. That's 405-510-6988. Victory Mattress Outlet, where your best night's sleep costs less.
Who's got the sauce? Zaxby's does. Come by Zaxby's Chicken Fingers and Buffalo Wings at 5859 Northwest Expressway and find out why Zaxby's is Oklahoma's go-to for great chicken meals. Zaxby's has the chicken fingers, the sandwiches, the wings, and the sauce that will leave your mouth watering. Now with the all-new lemon pepper line of meals. Late Night Zax introduces the Zappetizer Trio and keeps the drive-thru open after 8 p.m. So use the Zaxby's app to earn rewards and remember that Zaxby's will cater your event. Head to 5859 Northwest Expressway or call 405-603-8190 to make your Zaxby's order now. 405-603-8190. Zaxby's.
Okay, we should be coming back right here on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk, segment number 2 of the game plan with Luke Young out at Chelino's Mexican Restaurant, 1227 South Garth Brooks Boulevard, $8.99 enchilada night. You can see the dining area is steadily filling up, so make sure you get in here quickly or else you're not going to get a table because they pack up very quickly. Again, for $8.99 enchilada night, it's a good reason to taking a look at the menu here. Nino's favorite enchiladas. I'd said that one earlier. 2 cheese and onion enchiladas topped with chili sauce and 2 eggs any way you want it. Didn't know eggs were a big thing to go on enchiladas, but apparently it's very popular. The avocado enchiladas are in there as well. Marcelo's enchiladas. You've got the enchilada suites that's topped with green crema sauce, and the enchilada dinner, which is your choice of 2 cheese and onion, shredded chicken or beef, and topped with your choice of sauce. All that for $8.99 tonight, so make sure you get the family in here and take full advantage of it. If you're not in the mood for enchiladas, tacos, burritos, you've got seafood a little bit as well. They've also got a bunch of lunch and dinner specials. I personally, big fan of the quesadillas. I know I say it a lot, but I really am. The quesadilla norteña is apparently one of the spicier items on the menu, but it sounds very good. Fajita beef or chicken, shredded cheese, fried onions, and jalapenos, served with sour cream and guacamole. Might be worth looking into for me. I normally just go for the normal quesadilla dinner, which is 2 grilled quesadillas with fajita beef or chicken and shredded cheese. Might have to mix it up tonight, Can't get too wild, got to stick with the quesadillas, but I might have to mix it up. Call Chelino's and reserve your table, 405-350-2006. Today is Wednesday, so they're open until 9 p.m. tonight. On Friday through Saturdays, they're open 10:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. Here on segment number 2 of the game plan, we're going to stick a little bit local, but we're also going to pivot into talking about the college scene as well, both local and national. Starting off on that local side, the Sooner Athletic Conference, which I was talking about a little earlier with basketball, is in their soccer tournament right now. And looking at the Sooner Athletic Conference men's soccer bracket, they have already played, looks like they played round 1. Oklahoma City beat Oklahoma Panhandle State University 5-1. Wayland Baptist beat Nelson University 1-0. Mid-America Christian beat Southwestern Christian 3-0. And John Brown University beat Texas Wesleyan 3-1. So your quarterfinals are, that should be semifinals, huh? So this is moving on to semifinals here. Oklahoma City is taking on Wayland Baptist on November 7th, 2 days from now. And Mid-America Christian takes on John Brown in Arkansas on the 7th as well. That's a long trip for those Evangels. The 2 teams coming out of this semifinals match playing the championship. Right now, it's looking like Oklahoma City is a tough team to beat. Obviously, a 5-goal opening round over the OPSU Aggies. it's going to be tough for any kind of team to slow down an offense that's managing that. So it'll be interesting to see how far the Stars go. Let's see if we can find any women's results real quick. See if they have that bracket posted right now. I'm not too sure myself. And it doesn't look like they do currently. So if they doesn't look like women's soccer is out currently, but I'll keep an eye on that one. And maybe on another show we'll come back and update you. But now that we're back and talking about college, let's go ahead and talk about Southern Nazarene. So Southern Nazarene is going to the Great American Conference Tournament in soccer from November 13th through the 16th, and volleyball from November 20th through the 22nd. That's coming up for the Crimson Storm very quickly. Now, rugby is obviously one of the big parts of the Southern Nazarene team, but they are also very strong in soccer and volleyball both. Those are not two teams you can discount at all. You don't want to take any credit away from them. So if you're a fan of the Crimson Storm, no, football hasn't been their sport this year, but they do still have some fall sports that are looking to make some moves in the postseason. We maybe someday we'll be out there to broadcast one of those. I mean, you never know. You never know. On the national scene, NCAA basketball has begun for both the men and the women. We're going to talk a little bit about it here. First, with the men's college scoreboard. In the second game of the season, it was an absolute thriller. Unranked Texas nearly knocked off number 6 Duke in the first game of the season, but it did end up being a Duke win 75-60. Texas led at half but couldn't hold on. They were held to only 27 points in the second half of play, while Duke put up 43. Expect a name to hear a lot. I'll pull up the box score for you here just to get the stats for you. But expect Cameron Boozer to be a name you hear a lot throughout this season for NCAA men's basketball. Boozer wearing number 12 for the Blue Devils. He put up 15 points on 36 minutes, but he really dominated on the glass. 13 total rebounds, 12 defensively, while also totaling 3 steals and a block. He went 9 for 12 from the line. If he can shore up some of the field goal shooting, that kid could be a big problem later on. But he does take a lot of attempts. He had 12 attempts. That was second highest on the Duke team. So maybe just a little bit of an off night shooting there. Maybe it's super contested. I'm not too sure. But a terror on the glass very clearly, and a big part of why Duke came back to win that game. But if that's, the tempo setter for this season in NCAA basketball, we're going to have a fun one. We're going to have a very fun one. Looking at some of the other scores from that opening day, Texas Tech won their first match 98-60. Kentucky won 77-51. Purdue, the number 1 team in the country, 82-51. Now coming back today, South Dakota and Creighton play today. That is at 7 p.m. So right at the end of our show, you can change from us and go catch that Creighton game. Creighton ranked number 23 in the nation. And then tomorrow, Thursday, Louisville plays, Florida plays, Iowa State and Auburn are in action. So there's some pretty good early season basketball games coming at you right here. And I know now I tend to stay away from this. I don't like so much of that way too early talk about playoffs, so I'm not going to even mention March outside of this one statement. But it is nice to see, okay, what does this team look like early? What are their identities going to be for some of the teams that have new coaches, for the teams that have brand new rosters? I don't know. I mean, Texas obviously had a really good first half, and being unranked here, if they pull up some big wins, they could find themselves ranked later on in the season, which isn't completely out of the question. On the women's side as well, as I'll pivot back here to top 25, they also had some fun games. Let's look at their standings currently. In the women's scene, now I do know both Oklahoma and Texas are ranked on the women's side of college basketball. If my technology will work real quick, UConn, the number 1 team, they had 27 first-place votes, near unanimous. South Carolina comes in at number 2, UCLA at number 3. Texas is number 4, LSU is number 5, and Oklahoma is number 6. Both OU and Texas top 10 teams on the women's side in this preseason poll. Oklahoma State comes in at number 22, some other big names. Notre Dame 15, Baylor 16. I see North Carolina at 11, and Michigan at number 13. That's the women's rankings real quick. We'll go ahead and bring back up the NCAA men's rankings for you too, because I know we've got some big ones in that. Purdue at number one, I already mentioned that. Houston comes in at number two with 16 first place votes. Florida at number three. UConn at number four. St. John's at number five. Duke sits right outside at number six. And the rest of the top 10 is rounded out by Michigan, BYU, Kentucky, and Texas Tech in that order. Neither Texas nor Oklahoma ranked in the top 25. North Carolina, the final team in the preseason rankings on the men's basketball side, they come in at number 25. So there's a quick look at your standings. You can always mark those down and see. It is pretty fun to see how the preseason rankings change from the final rankings and like who wins the championship and stuff to see how far the season goes. Those are always pretty good. Oh, and while I'm thinking about it, a lot of, talk has been given to the NIL and the football scene, but I feel like I haven't heard so much about it in the basketball scene. It is still there. Now, I'm not like going to point to anybody and say, oh, this is the big one you need to look out for, because frankly, I just don't know right now. It's research for another show. But I know I personally am going to be seeing, how the landscape shifts. We've had some big sweeping changes in college football, and I would expect a few more to come our way in the near future. But basketball is kind of, in a lot of ways, removed from what happens for college football. They feel like two completely different worlds at times. So if NIL, which it'll have an impact if it hasn't already, I mean, like I said, I don't know many examples right now. I'll be interested to see how much of an impact it has on the college basketball scene as opposed to the college football scene. Just a thought, again, just something to, keep in mind as the season gets underway. One thing I did find out as I was preparing for this show is that TCU center, his name is Malik Diallo, tore his ACL and is out for the season. Rough loss right there for the Horned Frogs. TCU starting center gone right out the gates. I mean, can you imagine getting a season-ending injury in the first game of the season, and your name isn't Aaron Rodgers? That's crazy. 6'9" sophomore from West Africa. He was going up for an offensive rebound and came down wrong, right? Torn ACL, done. Freshman year, he averaged 2.2 points and 2.7 rebounds in 29 games. That was really a guy they were looking to get going big time, to be a big part of that TCU team. And right now, that's just kind of feels like a gaping hole, right, in that TCU lineup right there. Something that they are going to scramble to fill very early on in this one. But it does mean for the guys on the bench, for that depth, now you get an early look at, okay, who's going to step up? Where do we go from here? This is, honestly, I don't want to say it's better because it's always bad to take an injury, but it is better for TCU as now they still have the entire season to play with. This isn't a big loss at the end of the year, and you're having to throw in a guy that hasn't had as much playing time. Now at least the backup, whoever's going to come in and slide into that role, is going to get pretty much a whole new season under his belt, which for TCU, that's kind of the silver lining I'm seeing there. Now, how much of a silver lining it is, I'll leave that up to you to decide, but that is at least my quick thoughts about it. On the women's basketball side, we also had some pretty big upsets from what I can see. Let's go ahead and find one of them here. I know there was a big one. If I can find it on my big list of basketball scores right now. South Carolina won, UCLA won, Texas won massively. I mean, massively. Oh, Baylor beat Duke on the women's side. That was right. That was a big one. 58-52, just a 6-point victory. Talia Scott had 24 points, led both teams, led both teams with that 24, as Baylor knocks off number 16, knocks off number 7. Iowa State won, Ole Miss won. I feel like there was one more that I had on my radar, and now, of course, right when I'm trying to talk about it, I can't find it anymore. I hate how that happens all the time. All the time. UConn won, LSU won, Michigan, and actually, here it is. I found it. NC State beat Tennessee. Number 9 beat number 8 in a very, very close matchup. 3-point victory for NCSU. Camille Pierre put up 21 points. Talasia Cooper for Tennessee had 23. 3-point victory again right there. That's just another really close matchup. Beginning of the year kind of sets the pace for the rest of the season on the women's side. We've had seen obviously those early blowouts. I mean, when you've got Texas winning like 124-50, it's a pretty big blowout. But you've also got these really, really, really close games, which I expect we're going to see a lot of the close games later on this season on the women's side. But for now, that's about all I say about this. Of course, the season just underway, so there's not too much news to get into on both the men's or women's side. Oklahoma got an easy win against Belmont, 84-67. Wasn't too much to worry about for them there. Reagan Beers led the Sooners with 29 points in that game. I'll be keeping up with the Sooners, of course, as we get on later this season. But for now, I think I've said about my piece on that. So let's send it back to break. You're watching and listening to the game plan on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk and the Gospel Station Sports and Talk Facebook page. We're at Chelino's Mexican Restaurant out here in Yukon, 1227 South Garth Brooks Boulevard, $8.99 enchilada night here at Chelino's. And if you're watching on the Facebook, you can see the dining area very quickly fill up here. A lot of people get in here for $8.99 enchilada night, as they very well should. I've got my Dr. Pepper with me. I'm going to order later on in our show and take it back to my apartment. So I'll be getting mine. Don't even worry about it. Quesadillas, tacos, burritos, of course, the enchiladas. They've got it all right here at Chelino's, serving Oklahoma since 1989, and they've got locations all around the OKC metro. So let's send it back to break. When we come back, one more segment in the first half of our show, and then we're on to hour number 2.
What are laws on immigration? Contact Tipton Law Center in Oklahoma City at 405-209-1925. Melissa Tipton Duncans has the passion with experience with a solid foundation of knowledge in immigration law. The Tipton Law Center is located at 5909 Northwest Expressway at MacArthur and will also take cases in family law, criminal law, international law, adoptions, or readoptions. For immigration law, contact attorney Melissa Tipton Duncans at Tipton Law Center, 405-209-1925.
The parking lots are full because it's always a celebration at Chelino's Mexican Restaurant in Yukon at 1227 Garth Brooks Boulevard in the Chisholm Shopping Center. With a traditional flair of Mexican casual dining where your meal always begins with complimentary chips, cheese, and salsa. Then a lengthy menu selection from fajitas, tacos, enchiladas, fish tacos, and so much more. You don't have to be shy at Chelino's. Ask for our daily specials and finish your meal with our sopapilla or pick something from our dessert menu. Oklahomans have chosen Chelino's Mexican Restaurants in Yukon at 1227 Garth Brooks Boulevard in the Chisholm Shopping Center. Call 405-350-2006.
Polished is total grooming at 836 Garth Brooks in Yukon with 28 years combined experience, including airbrush design, nail caps on dogs and cats, as well as the Bribe Bar and pet photography. It's a dog and cat day out at Polish, and ask about the month's membership that includes a free weekly bathing and 50% off pet grooming. Go to polishgrooming.com or call 405-494-8409. Keep your fur baby happy with expert affordable pet grooming at Polish in Yukon.
Creative Corner at 1241 Garth Brooks in Yukon provides creative space where you can unplug and explore your inner artist. Creative Corner features epic birthday parties, unforgettable corporate holiday parties, and just for you parties, so you can use your creative hands with pottery painting, glass art, and clay hand building. Check out our workshop schedule, including Kids Club. Find us on Facebook and Instagram, Creative Corner in Yukon. Call 405-265-2888. That's Creative Corner in Yukon.
This is Blake Nightingale State Farm, your local insurance agent over at 7304 Northwest Expressway. Here to tell you more about the business is Blake himself.
Hi, my name is Blake Nightingale, State Farm insurance agent located at 7304 Northwest Expressway here in Oklahoma City. I've been a State Farm agent since 2018. We've got 5 licensed staff members here, and we do everything from auto, home, life insurance, and health insurance. And we're real passionate about helping people. And we love youth sports, and we sponsor a lot of local teams here. And so, like I always tell people, Like a good neighbor, we're here to help you.
Just like you heard from Blake, Blake Nightingale State Farm is here to help you protect what's important to you because your car and home aren't just things. They're where you make your memories. Visit Blake and his friendly staff at 7304 Northwest Expressway and call them at 405-728-1313. Like a good neighbor, Blake Nightingale is there. I think something happened to the commercials there, but it's all right. Hey, we are live at Chelino's Mexican restaurant out here in Yukon, 1227 South Garth Brooks Boulevard. Before we get into our next segment, I do want to mention, because it's one I forgot, it was reported by ESPN about 4 hours ago that Utah's Walker Kessler is undergoing season-ending left shoulder surgery for a torn labrum. So Utah basketball losing a spot there. Torn labrum is nothing to mess around with, folks. Trust me, my own brother has a torn labrum, and he's been out for pretty much the same amount of time. He lost basically a whole year right there to a torn labrum. It is not something you want to play with. So, again, another big injury right at the start of the year. We've seen, I mean, year in, year out, you see this, right? It happens plenty of times, but it's always kind of rough to hear about. I mean, you always wish the best, especially at the college level, man. You always wish the best for those kids and the best careers possible. Tough to see a kid lose a career, I mean, a season like that, not a career. Hopefully not a career. Just a season is fine. But we're at Chelino's Mexican restaurant. Chelino's has been serving Oklahoma since 1989. It's time for Chelino's. Enjoy their setup of chips, queso, salsa, and freshly made tortillas. They've got vegetable relish available upon request, and it's complimentary with the purchase of an entree or $6.49 for guests who do not order said entree. Setup fee is charged when sharing an entree, but with all the stuff you get with it, that is very much doable and understandable. I've mentioned a lot of the tacos, burritos, and everything they serve, but they've also got a brunch menu. They have fajitas, soups, salads, and more. It's all on this great big Chelino's menu right here. But what everybody you see on the picture on the Facebook is in for today is, of course, $8.99 enchilada day. Enchilada dinner, sweets, thank you, Nino's favorite enchiladas, and more that he've also got on this menu here. The Steven Special. Fajita chicken served on a bed of rice, topped with onions, bell peppers, and queso. My favorite, the quesadilla dinner, 2 grilled quesadillas filled with fajita beef or chicken and shredded cheese, served with sour cream and guacamole. They've got tamales, grilled chicken, flautas, and everything, again, in between. I keep saying it a lot, but it's because it's true. You kind of have to go through and read this menu yourself. There are more items on here than I could ever relay to you, even on a 2-hour show. Quesadillas, puerco, and excuse my Spanish, puerco lindo, that's pork strips, and more. I just see one that's called soaps. I hope I pronounced that right, but I might just stop there. I might stop trying to read Spanish. Okay, I took 2 years in high school, and that was it for me. But thanks to Chelino's for hosting the show. It's always a great time coming out here. Make sure you stop by if you're in the area, $8.99 enchilada night. But if you're not in Yukon, they've got restaurants all over the OKC metro, and they're eager to serve you. Super friendly staff here, by the way. They're just great people. Now we've got about 20 more minutes before we head to the midway point of our show. So we're going to stay in the college sphere, and this time talk about all that football that we know has been going on right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the year. You get on Twitter, you get on Instagram, you get on anything in between, and you're going to see one hashtag pop up on the screen, and it says Maction. Oh, yeah, baby, it's that time of the year. Maction is back, and it is as glorious as we knew it would be. Okay, we got to go through some of these games here. I got to give you a schedule update. Akron and Massachusetts played, okay, back on Tuesday, yesterday. And Ohio and Miami played, which Ohio won that one 24-20. Was apparently a really good, really close game all the way to the end. But the Akron-Massachusetts game was not. 44-10, Akron win. On the first play of the game, this is not a joke, Massachusetts ran a flea flicker, fumbled, and I'm pretty sure gave up a touchdown. Maction is back, baby. It's so packed. This is the best time of the year for college football fans, and I am already loving it. So the schedule today. Kent State is at Ball State. Northern Illinois is at Toledo. Tomorrow, Georgia Southern plays at Appalachian State, and UTSA is at South Florida. Friday, Houston is at UCF. Northwestern is at number 19 USC, and Tulane is at Memphis. And then Saturday is when we get all the ranked matchups. Of course, This week, you'll have such matchups such as Indiana at Penn State, the new number 2 taking on the old number 2. Georgia at Mississippi State. BYU and Texas meeting number 7 at number 8. Ohio State has Purdue. A&M is at number 22, Missouri. Number 9, Oregon is at number 20, Iowa. And keep going down the list here. It just keeps going on and on. Auburn is at Vanderbilt. And Vanderbilt just took a big loss to Texas, which, what are we doing, Vandy? You're letting everybody down, losing to Texas. What's going on there? But that's a game popping up. LSU is at number 4, Alabama. And keeping it going, just a few more here. Navy is at Notre Dame. And Wake Forest is at Virginia. Some fun ones on the schedule right here. And I think that, we'll end it off there. I'm not seeing too much more right there. So there's your quick look at the schedule this part of the season. Oh, man, gotta love it, gotta love it. There are still some big games on the slate, even with all of these games that people like to meme on. I mean, let's just call it what it is. It's a meme athletic conference, MAC right there. I just came up with that on the spot. But for just, frankly, just flat out watching college football, it really is one of the best times of the year. I mean, you can't, there's nothing like it, if we're just being completely honest. And through this season, man, speaking of big losses, Tennessee and that loss to Oklahoma, that punched them all the way down the rankings and all the way down. I'm going to pull up our rankings here in a second and get you a look at those. But while I do, the 12-team college football playoff bracket projection has been put out for this season. It has number 1 Ohio State staying number 1, maintaining that top seed. It also has Indiana at number 2, A&M at number 3, and Alabama at number 4. The teams playing that first round would be number 5 Georgia, playing against number 12 Memphis. The Memphis Tigers being the one selected by the committee in this projection to fill in that number 12 spot. Oregon would have Texas Tech, Virginia would have Ole Miss, and Notre Dame would have, looks like, BYU. So that's what your projection looks like for this point in the season. Obviously, some big names missing there. Texas and Oklahoma both not projected to be in it. And at least for Oklahoma, I can say that kind of makes sense because we do have teams like Alabama on the schedule, which if we lose to them, it kind of really hurts those chances. But we'll see how that plays out. Currently, Texas is ranked number 11 in the college football rankings. And again, that's the CFP rankings. And Oklahoma is ranked number 12 in the CFP rankings that just released. The AP Top 25 has Oklahoma at number 11 and Texas at number 13. So that's what it's looking like for the two teams closest to us. Now, where you stand on the head-to-head, right? Texas beat Oklahoma. CFP says they should be ranked higher. AP says they're ranked lower. Wherever you stand on that argument, you can see it for either side, but it always leads to me, the most interesting question out of all of it is not, where should they be, but what would happen if they played again? What would happen if Oklahoma and Texas met end of year playoff scenario? Then what kind of game will we get? Will we get a game like the first one? Will we get a game where the Oklahoma offense isn't really able to move the ball that well and we kind of struggle against a strong Texas defense? Or would we get a game where both two teams are playing at their absolute best and Mateer is healthy again and Arch Manning is throwing like a college quarterback, like a starting college quarterback? He looks comfortable in the pocket again and all that. Would we get a game like that? What would happen if those two teams met? What kind of ripples would that send along college football, if you will? I think that's the fun hypothetical. Not where should this team be ranked, not who's it going to be at the end of the year, but just what would happen if this matchup happened, right? And I think that's why the playoffs are so interesting, is because you get to see some of the best matchups across the entire league. Just again, in my opinion. Speaking on Tennessee, since I mentioned them, in the AP, they're number 23 now following their loss. In the college football playoff rankings, they're number 25, the last team. I said going into Oklahoma, Tennessee, that in a game like that, whoever loses, their season is pretty close to being done. And Tennessee is hanging on by a thread, but I mean, bottom of the rankings on both sides, right? It's not looking good for the Vols. Looking at Tennessee's remaining schedule, They've got two unranked teams before they've got Vanderbilt at the end of the year, so you're not getting power opponents. New Mexico State, not ranked. Florida, not ranked. Vanderbilt currently number 16. Even if Vanderbilt stays right there and Tennessee comes back and gets a win, that doesn't punch Tennessee up to that number 8 slot that maybe leapfrogs Vanderbilt for number 16, 15, something around there. So it kind of feels like Tennessee has pretty much lost their bid for the playoffs at this point in the year, which is not not the best case scenario for the Vols. They had that close loss to Georgia in overtime. I think after a game like that one back in September, right? You take one of the best teams in the league, you take them to OT, 3-point loss. You're feeling okay. Well, we dropped that one, but then you go on a 3-0 run after, and you're like, okay, well, we're still a great team. We still took one of the best ones all the distance. It just didn't go our way. We can beat anybody. And then you lose to Alabama, and then you lose to Oklahoma. And now you're at the last part of the season where you've only got one ranked opponent. I just don't. There's no way, in my mind, I don't see any way Tennessee gets back in unless the entire top 12 is shaken up and the entire thing goes out the window. So, unfortunate for the Vols, but that's just kind of where they sit right now. I mean, you got to win your games, right? You got to win your games. Oklahoma, we'll go ahead and look at the Sooners' remaining schedule. I already mentioned Alabama is on there, but the difference is Oklahoma currently has 2 ranked teams instead of 1. Alabama number 4 and Missouri number 22 before they finish the season at LSU, who is currently unranked. The reason Oklahoma isn't projected to be in the college football playoffs is because of Alabama right now at this point. It is because they meet number 4 Alabama on the 15th at 2:30 p.m. on ABC, and most people are expecting OU not to walk away with a win. If OU wins that game, they're in. They would have to lose very bad to Missouri. Actually, no, I won't say that. They would have to lose to Missouri. But I think if Oklahoma was able to pull off the upset against Alabama, then they are basically locks for the postseason. Let's go ahead and talk about Texas then, since they're kind of right there in the CFP projection. Texas has had their own little bit of a resurgence, to be honest with you, and I was kind of not happy about that. I'm not a Texas fan, if you can believe that one. Texas getting that win over Vanderbilt. They also got the overtime win versus Mississippi State. That was a big comeback. Arch Manning threw for 346 in the air, and then he had another 300-yard game against Vanderbilt. The only thing that still worries me about Texas is that 2 of their last 3 have been overtime, and I think 2 of those last 3 were also comeback victories. They weren't leading getting into the final stages of the game. They're kind of slowed off the jump, right? They're not getting out there commanding lead early on and holding that through the game. They are still having to make comebacks against maybe teams they shouldn't be having to come back against. If you're a Texas fan, that's the one of 2 things that worries you. The other is meeting Georgia and Texas A&M at the end of the year, and that speaks for itself. Georgia number 5, A&M number 3. Obviously, you get the in-state rivalry right there with A&M, final game of the season. That's what's worrying a Texas fan right now. Maybe more so than any of Arch Manning's struggles at the beginning of the year. Maybe more so than any of the come-from-behind victories. It's just the 2 teams you have left to play. Texas and OU both kind of in the same boat there, where you've got to knock off a top 5 team just to keep your season alive. But it does make for pretty interesting football. All right, well, we've talked about just about everything on the college football side, so that means it's about time to head to break. When we come back, we're going to bring a guest on the show. But before I go to break, just some breaking news here, some quick stuff. NAIA Baseball has the preseason coaches poll out. And obviously, I played NAIA Baseball in college, so it means a lot to me. But the LSU Shreveport Pilots, after their undefeated 59-0 season last year, are the unanimous number 1 to no one's surprise. They are called the Pilots of Perfection by NAIA Ball, our good friend Taylor Thomas and the guys, which just a killer title, man. Just a killer title. The Pilots of Perfection is so cool. That's so cool. Georgia Gwinnett, number 2. I see Southeastern Florida, number 3. Hope International, the Royals, number 4. Tennessee Wesleyan, number 5. Let's go through top 10. Cumberland's number 6. Loyola, number 7. Weber International, number 8. Taylor University, number 9. And British Columbia rounding out the top 10. Of course, that goes all the way till 25, but I won't go through the entire rankings for you because we got to go to break here. When we come back, we're going to talk about pro sports, NFL, MLB, and NBA, which is now getting into the meat of their own season. So, all that and more when we come back, of course, getting our guest on as well. You're listening to and watching the Game Plan on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk. Luke Young out at Chelino's Mexican Restaurant, 1227 South Garth Brooks Boulevard. Call 405-350-2006 to reach Chelino's and secure your table. Go to chelinos.com and you can find them there as well. You can also browse the menu online. They're open Sunday through Thursday, 10:30 to 9, and Friday through Saturday, 10:30 to 10. Thanks to Chelino's. We're going to send it to break when we come back, the second hour of our show.
Lilygrass Flowers and Decor is rooted in rich history dating back to 1979 in the precious memory of Flowers by Roy. Alicia Rankins and staff have carried the commitment to only offer the finest, unique floral arrangements with same-day delivery locally and nationally. What you envision, we make reality at Lilygrass Flowers and Decor, 7101 Northwest Expressway. Call Lilygrass Flowers and Decor at 721-1813 and begin a new memory.
Tanko Mechanical, Electrical, and Plumbing is a commercial and industrial contractor. They offer end-to-end client experience that includes seamless communication, budgeting, staffing, on-site organization, and a solid quality handiwork every time. The past projects include both new construction and repairs and restoration. Occupied and fully operational job sites are never a problem. They can also plan, manage, and build multi-phase jobs. We are a turnkey plumbing, electrical, HVAC, and mechanical contractor. Tanko Company, give them a call at 405-255-7804. Again, that's 405-255-7804. Tanko.
When technology has you screaming at the office, call Simplify Tech Solutions at 405-981-1011. Located at 4221 North MacArthur Boulevard, Simplify Tech Solutions features IT management, business phone systems, manages Wi-Fi, and offers repair and support. Simplify your Wi-Fi before the emotional breakdown by calling Simplify Tech Solutions. Locally owned and operated at 405-981-1011. 405-981-1011. Simplify Tech Solutions.
The parking lots are full because it's always a celebration at Chelino's Mexican Restaurant in Yukon at 1227 Garth Brooks Boulevard in the Chisholm Shopping Center. With a traditional flair of Mexican casual dining where your meal always begins with complimentary chips, cheese, and salsa. Then a lengthy menu selection from fajitas, tacos, enchiladas, fish tacos, and so much more. You don't have to be shy at Chelino's. Ask for our daily specials and finish your meal with our sopapilla or pick something from our dessert menu. Oklahomans have chosen Chelino's Mexican Restaurants in Yukon at 1227 Garth Brooks Boulevard in the Chisholm Shopping Center. Call 405-350-2006.
Stan's Plumbing is your locally owned, full-service, licensed, and bonded plumbing company, proudly serving the Oklahoma City Metro for over 30 years. Stan's provides all types of plumbing services like faucet and toilet repairs, sewer repair, and trenchless pipe replacement, water heater repair and installation, both tank and tankless, plus drain cleaning and jetting. All plumbers arrive with fully stocked trucks and can resolve your plumbing problems in a timely manner. Since 1988, Stan's Plumbing has held itself to a higher standard in plumbing. Call 405-721-5100 to schedule your appointment. Stan's Plumbing, Valley Service in a dirty business. 405-721-5100.
Let's all really listen to what politicians say. Does it make sense? For instance, raising tax rates on large corporations. Sounds good. Then we remember, corporations do not pay taxes. They pass tax costs through to their customers. That means a corporate tax increase is a tax increase for everyone who does business with a corporation. That's a tax increase to every one of us. Dwayne McAnally, McAnally Foundation.
Okay, I think that brings us back from break. My laptop is still very much struggling to run everything it's needing to run right now, but we're making it through. We're making it through. This is the game plan out at Chelino's Mexican Restaurant, 1227 South Garth Brooks Boulevard. We've officially hit 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time, which means I am getting hungry. Gonna have to order my meal here quickly, and I'm thinking about getting one of those $8.99 enchiladas because it is $8.99 enchilada day here at Chelino's. 405-350-2006 is the number to call. You can come and pick yourself up something like the Steven Special, the Enchilada Suites, the Enchilada Dinner itself, or Chelino's Special Mexican Dinner. That's a chicken enchilada with sour cream sauce, a cheese and onion enchilada with chili sauce, a chicken or beef tamale with chili sauce, and a crispy or soft shredded chicken or beef taco served with guacamole. All that in just one meal. Great bang for your buck right there. Loving Chelino's. Since 1989, they've been serving Oklahoma. And, I mean, take a look on our Facebook, right? Great dining areas, super friendly staff. They're eager to serve and timely as well. Love coming out here and doing this show. I've got some chips that have been staring me in the face right now, so I'm going to have to get into those on one of these breaks, I think. Or maybe I should hang off and just get a really, really big meal. That sounds pretty good, too. Tacos, brunch, salads, fajitas, burritos, of course, the enchiladas, and so much more on here. They've also got a dessert menu that you can peruse if you want to get some desserts. But I'll talk about that a little bit later on. All right, we got to get back into the sports talk here on the Gospel Station Sports and Dog. Luke Young here with you, now joined by a special guest and a returning guest, once again, Nicholas Thomas. Nick, thank you for calling in. Can you hear me, my friend?
Yes, I can. It's all good over here.
All right, perfect. I can hear you too. That's good because I was worrying about that, setting this whole thing up all day. So, all right, it's good to hear from you. So you've heard a little bit of the first half. I know you were watching. We've talked college, we talked local stuff. Now we're going to move into the professional scene. But before we do, was there anything you heard and wanted to touch on a little bit, Nick, before we get into the majority of this one?
Honestly, I was not expecting to be caught up on college rugby today, but I will say it was interesting to be caught up on that.
Listen, Southern Nazarene has a very, very good rugby team. They take it seriously over there. I mean,
I know
they're
that
knocking out
now.
D1s.
Good to know now. Now I know.
Yeah, there you go. If you're ever looking to get into rugby, Nick, that's the team you got to go root for. The Crimson Storm know what they're doing over there. All right, all right. Well, let's get into it. Let's stick with football. Let's go ahead and talk NFL for a little bit. Obviously, we just had our Monday game finished not too long ago. We're just a couple days removed from that, and getting ready for Thursday night football tomorrow. But maybe even more so than the games and some of these results have been the trades that have been happening right up until that trade deadline. Nick, you're an Eagles fan. Did Philly have any big trades that you were keeping an eye on?
The Jalen Phillips trade was a big deal for me that I thought we've needed a good pass rusher all season, and we got one. Jalen Phillips is a very good young outside linebacker pass rusher. I remember watching him back when he was at Miami, and he was really good then. His biggest issue has just been injuries. Last 2 years, he's had two leg injuries. Last year was an ACL, but this year he already has, I believe, it was 39 pressures already this season. And he's just a guy that can get back there at the quarterback. And if we can keep him healthy, it'll be big. We also got Jair Alexander, who we need a cornerback too. And at this point, he's more of a name value than he is an actual player. But it's a couple of good little, really good pieces that we needed spots filled in, and we got them filled in. So hopefully they can do their jobs well, and we can make this team a little bit better.
Jair Alexander was maybe to me the bigger one, but obviously you know more about the Philly situation than I do. But cornerback had been one of the few positions it felt like for the defending champs that they had kind of gotten beat occasionally. I've noticed some of their cornerbacks have struggled against some of the best route runners in the game. So picking up Jair Alexander, I said that on a past show, it just gives them an option, right? It gives them another option at cornerback to play with.
I mean, I saw a Twitter post about it. Someone said that the Eagles have Quinion Mitchell and then six nickelbacks, and I was like, man, that's very true. That is, oh, we just need another boundary corner. That's all we need.
Well, the defending champs looking to two-peat. They're making the necessary moves to try and get themselves back. Another team that's looking to make it to the championship this year is the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are going all in right now. They just traded for Sauce Gardner. What are we feeling about that one?
Imagine the day where we can say that a team's going all in on Daniel Jones on their quarterback. I mean, Jonathan Taylor's been insane. Quentin Nelson, the offensive lineman they have, he deserves all the praise in the world. He's been insane this year. Jonathan Taylor, offensive player of the year in my book, star of my fantasy team this year. The Colts are great. They're going to be a really good team. They've been a really good team all year. As long as we last game with Daniel Jones, as long as that is not a sign of what's to come with him defaulting back, 6 turnovers against the Steelers is rough. But hopefully now they can fix that because their defense has been bottom half of the league despite how good the offense has been. Hopefully Sauce Gardner can come in there, taking up that extra step, and they can really take another step to being an elite team.
That was kind of what I was worried too about the Colts watching that game. 3 interceptions, 6 total turnovers. You do hope that is not the exception, not the rule, is the way I describe it. And also, Nick, what a terrible week for me to start 4 Colts on my fantasy team. That was bad. Jonathan Taylor had like 7 points total.
Don't remind me. I'm so glad that Jackson Smith and Jigba is really good at football.
Hey, my team, the
Caleb
Dallas
Williams
Cowboys.
caught 2 passes.
Dude, I got to go back and watch those highlights. I got to see what they drew up for Williams. I
It was
keep hearing
Philly
about
Philly.
it. It really was Philly special.
Yeah, they had him handed off behind him. He just gets out. The Bengals defense just stopped looking at him completely and just flicks back towards him. And he's just wide open, standing by himself in the end zone. He was more open than Nick Foles was.
That's crazy. I should have started Caleb. Okay, then never mind. The Cowboys made some moves as well. We've got a Quentin Williams coming as well as a linebacker from the Bengals. I like these moves. We're giving up a couple of picks for them now. Is it enough to save the season for Dallas here? Is it enough to save that defense? I don't know. We're still very beat up, very injury riddled. We've got some guys trending in the right direction. I think these are good pickups. Just will it be enough to save this year? I don't know. I'm still kind of looking towards the draft to fill some holes. Nick, what are your thoughts on that one as a fellow NFC East and Dallas hater?
I hate that Jerry Jones made a good move. Quinton Williams is a fantastically underrated player. He has been for a few years now. He's exactly what they need. He's a guy that like 2 seasons ago had 12 sacks as a defensive tackle. He can get to the quarterback. He's a great run stopper. I between him and what was the other Logan Wilson, right?
Yes.
I it's not enough to save the Cowboys defense, I don't think, but it definitely is a couple of good pieces. I think the season for the Cowboys is over. You might be able to make a wild card run, but I think this is a good start to like build a good team for next season. But giving up a first and a second, you're losing a lot of draft capital, but you got rid of Mozzie Smith, and honestly, he's an addition by subtraction. He's been awful this year.
I kind of agree with you there.
It's a good move. It's a very good move. But could you imagine him with like Micah Parsons next to him? It would have been so much better. But
yep, that
him and
is
Kenny Clark
always
are going to be a mean tackle duo.
Oh yeah, that's the best part about it. But that is the thing, right? It keeps coming back to the front office and to the decisions made by management. Nick, did you hear the quote from Jerry Jones that he was kind of in win now mode or whatever he said? The rumor is that he got some news, we'll say, about his health.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of put in perspective, put in a time frame on what we're looking at for Dallas here. He says he's in championship mode now. It looks like the trades are backing that up. I don't know.
I did not hear about his health, but I mean, when was the last time Jerry Jones didn't say he was in championship mode?
That's true. That's very true. Now, obviously, if you're not caught up with it and you're listening, you're like, well, this seems like perfect for the Cowboys. How could they be complaining about this at all? It's not that we're complaining about, or it's not that I'm complaining about the moves. Let's be honest. It's not that I'm complaining. I'm complaining that it came so late. I'm still complaining that that Jones only makes deals late after the market has risen and after it costs more to get your stars. We shouldn't have been in the money situation we are in, where we have to get rid of a guy like Micah Parsons to free up space, where we have to trade away first and second round picks to get someone to fill that gap. We shouldn't be in that situation in the first place. I do think this is a good move. I'm right there with Nick. I just think it's too little too late in a lot of ways.
I mean, you saw Detroit's the ones that are doing it wrong. They're signing Aiden Hutchinson 3 games into the season for a big contract. Like, no drama in the offseason, no hype built up for this contract. Like, what are they doing? There's no media likes and clicks. There was nothing about this contract before it got signed. Like, obviously, Jerry Jones is doing it right because we're talking about it. So come on now.
Yeah, you got me there. You guess you got me there. Oh man, being a Cowboys fan is something else. Some other news coming out of the NFL scene though is on the injury side. So we could talk for the rest of this segment about what teams are doing, what teams aren't doing, but let's look at the teams dealing with injury now. And Nick, maybe the biggest one following that Cowboys game, Kyler Murray is going on the injured reserve, and Brissett is going to be the starter for the foreseeable future.
It hurts me to say this, but I think at this point, Kyler's just not the option for Arizona. Jonathan Gannon and his system is just so reliant on a pocket passer quarterback. Kyler just he moves around too much. He's too free. He doesn't sit in the pocket enough for it. I think just in the offensive scheme that Gannon has going on, Kyler's just not the option. I could very much see Kyler being either a Jet or a Steeler next season for some form of trade and just getting a new team, a fresh start, hopefully a better start with some kind of offensive coordinator that lets him do more things.
I do feel like that is kind of dependent on Brissett's play for the rest of the season if they are willing to let him go. But I mean, we've seen a lot of quarterbacks be dealt recently, right? I mean, you've got a lot of backup guys moving around the league. I'm definitely right there with you. I don't think it's far from out of the question. But I'm again, ex-OU guy. I'm always rooting for the OU guys. Even hurts a little bit when he's not playing Dallas mostly. It's just tough to see, Kyler's situation compared to Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl champion, compared to Baker Mayfield, trying to be a Super Bowl championship, has his home in Tampa Bay, is putting up MVP numbers. It's just kind of tough to see what Kyler had fallen into. I'm going to go through and read some of the players of the weeks here for week 9. Lamar Jackson had player of the week, 4 passing touchdowns, 204 passing yards in the Baltimore win. On the Bears, they got NFC offensive player of the week to Colston Loveland, the tight end, 6 receptions for 118 yards.
It's about time he did something. He's been sitting on my bench all season for fantasy. It's about time I finally starting to get a little bit out of him.
The AFC Defensive Player of the Week was Alex Highsmith, 4 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble. And the NFC Defensive... Right sorry, Nick.
Ex-Eagle right there.
And the NFC Defensive Player of the Week, Trayvon Mulrick, 5 tackles, 2 for loss, 2 pass deflections, and an interception. And that takes us to special teams. All right, this is the fun one. Everybody knows what's coming here. Let's start with NFC special teams player. Levi Drake Rodriguez, 2 tackles, a sack, and a blocked field goal. And the AFC Cam Little with an NFL record 68-yard field goal on top of 3 point-after attempts made and 3 field goals made.
I mean, Aubrey had his chance to bring it back. He had a shot. He had an ability.
I was gonna say, is it unbreakable because Aubrey missed?
No, it's not unbreakable. All these kickers are getting slightly better. I mean, Cam Little definitely puts little to his name. If I'm not mistaken, he's like 5'9", 180 pounds. He is not the biggest guy. Aubrey with his leg should maybe be able to beat it, but we're seeing a lot of kickers lately. It's getting further and further back every single time. I could see somebody breaking it this season, but if not, I definitely think somebody breaks it next season.
There had definitely been a little bit of a kicker renaissance, which I'm all here for. I'm very glad for that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how long that holds. Did he have a 70-yarder in preseason? Wasn't that what it was?
Yes, it was a 70 or 71-yarder in preseason, yes.
Right, man. Yeah, that record could be gone before we know it, which is just insane to say. As we head towards the end of this segment, talking about football, Las Vegas plays Denver in an hour at 7:15 p.m. on Prime Video. And then Sunday slate sees teams like Detroit taking on Washington. Baltimore has Minnesota. New England is at Tampa Bay. That should be a fun one. And Philadelphia is at Green Bay Monday Night Football, 7:15 on ABC and ESPN.
It's going to be a big game.
What's your preview for that one in Lambeau?
I mean, Jair Alexander returns. He was on the Ravens all season this year, and now he's finally getting to play back against Green Bay. We'll see what he can do. It'll be a good show to be able to see him out there, to see Jalen Phillips out there, and see how they feel on the defense now. And then the Packers, I mean, they just came off an embarrassing loss to Carolina, and then they just lost Tucker Kraft after he's been doing fantastic this season. So if Green Bay loses this game, I definitely think even after how they play, even after the Micah Parsons deal, I think this is the beginning of the end for them for this season.
Oh, and one more thing I forgot to mention, Nick. I want to get your thoughts on this. Fox has signed Drew Brees to a multi-year deal as a full-time NFL game analyst. He's going to partner with Adam Amin. So Fox now has Brady, Olsen, and Brees on their team. What were we thinking about that lineup?
I mean, that's one heck of a lineup. That is a very high-level, intelligent group of guys. Honestly, I've been enjoying Tom Brady's broadcast, listening to him whenever he actually goes in depth talking about sport. I believe it was last week he broadcast, or was it last week or the week before, where he broadcast the Eagles game, and listening to him just talk on the sport. I can never forgive Tom Brady. I still can't stand him as a quarterback, but when it comes to talking football and stuff, there's very few people smarter than him.
That's what's the commercial, like 10 pounds of football knowledge and a 5-pound Jerry, but it's perfect for Tom Brady. He's got that unlocked. All right. We got to go to break here. We're done with our NFL segment. When we come back, we're going to talk some NBA and then get into some news and MLB talk for the final thing. So we're at Chelino's for this episode of The Game Plan. Serving Oklahoma since 1989, they are at 1227 South Garth Brooks Boulevard. It is $8.99 enchilada night in Chelino's. So stop by if you're in the area and pick that up. They're open until 9 p.m. tonight. Also, go to the website, chelinos.com. You can see the menu there and get in contact with them. Thank you to Nick Thomas for joining the show. We'll be back after this commercial break.
M&T Septic and Backhoe is your call for septic installation, pumping, and repair needs. M&T Septic and Backhoe has been installing septic systems for over 25 years. From home builders to homeowners, from old-fashioned septics to aerobic systems and lift stations, give M&T Septic and Backhoe a call at 405-387-9353. A call for all your septic systems, storm shelter, or utility needs, offering free estimates and willing to work with you on all projects. Call 405-387-9353. M&T Septic and Backhoe.
Come visit us at Raspado's Hawaiian Shaved Ice, 4571 Northwest 23rd Street. We're open year-round, 7 days a week, so come try our delicious crepes, smoothies, and churros. Raspado's Hawaiian Shaved Ice, 405-225-1000. We also serve burgers, tacos, and more. 4571 Northwest 23rd Street. Also on Facebook, Raspado's OKC. That's Raspado's OKC, 405-225-1000.
C&J Sporting Goods at 6604 Northwest 38th Street has been serving Bethany and the Metro for over 30 years, with 3 generations ready to serve you with the best shopping experience of product knowledge and customer service anywhere, with a wide selection of guns, ammo, ear and eye protection, law enforcement equipment, hunting, camping, and survival gear. If they don't have it, they will order it for you. Veteran owned and family operated. Call 405-789-8102. C&J Sporting Goods.
We are Integrity Heating, Air, and Plumbing, in business for over 40 years. We've provided top-notch service for every company and residential home in the area. Let's take a look inside and let you meet some people.
Hey, Blaine. Good morning. Here we have a part of our call center. This is Tina. That's Gabby. That's our general manager, BJ. Our office hours are from 7:30 to 7:30, Monday through Friday, and we do heating and air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical. Give us a call. We always have specials. Our number one priority is your family, constant comfort, and convenience. We offer 24-hour service.
And in order for us to do that, we fully stock everything here at our warehouse, whether it's commercial or residential. We offer plumbing, heating and air, and electrical full services. All of our guys are licensed, we're bonded and insured.
Here at Integrity, we offer senior discounts, military discounts, and public service discounts.
You worked hard for us, so let us work hard for you.
Yeah, go Broncos.
Step up to the next level at Coyote Pond, home with a $20 FFL transfer. Coyote Pond at 5804 Northwest 63rd and MacArthur makes the difference in customer service with a selection of just about everything with top dollar loans and rock bottom prices. Locally owned and operated, Coyote Pond is the destination headquarters for Bethany, Yukon, and Oklahoma City, and the home of the $20 FFL transfers. Call 405-470-7999 or go to coyotepond.com. That's 405-470-7999 and coyotepond.com.
Do it best at Evans Hardware. Since 1965, Evans Hardware has provided Midwest City with top quality home improvement supplies and a one-of-a-kind shopping experience. At 1021 South Douglas Boulevard, Evans Hardware is family owned and has the right products for every situation, including DIY projects, professional contracting, or quick fixes. Their satisfaction guarantee and quick turnarounds mean you'll always find what you need. So visit Evans Hardware in Midwest City.
Or call 405-732-1898. That's 405-732-1898.
Evans Hardware in Midwest City.
And we are coming back out of break here on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk. 2 more segments, 40 more minutes on our 2-hour show out at Chelino's Mexican Restaurant, 1227 South Garth Brooks Boulevard here in Yukon. If you're coming from the south side, make sure you come off of the interstate so you miss all the construction happening around that area underneath. I don't want to get caught up in that, but it's not in the way of Chelino's, so you can get right off the interstate and come right into the parking lot. Get in here for $8.99 enchilada night. You can get such great menu items as the enchilada dinner, Marcelo's enchiladas, Nino's favorite enchiladas, the avocado enchiladas if you're into that, and much more like the flauta dinner, quesadillas. They've got tamales. Of course, we mentioned the burritos and tacos. Let's look a little bit at some of these other menu items here. Burrito Supreme. They've got the carnitas tacos, which is corn or flour tortillas with pork carnitas. And then they've got a brunch menu. Of course, more like soups and salads. If you're trying to stay a little bit healthier, don't want to go all in on a big meal, they've got stuff for you there as well. I'm trying to find the desserts on here. I don't remember exactly where it is on this menu. You'd think however many times I've come here, I would be able to find it like that. But let's see. Here it is. Desserts include cheesecakes, chocolate cakes, fried ice cream, Mexican apple pie. They've got churros, tres leches cake, and a flan. Flan? Nick, how do you say that? Flan?
Flan.
Flan. Okay, there you go. I told you my Spanish is not, hadn't worked on that since high school, okay? But they've got more for you there. So stop by, $8.99 enchilada night, desserts for you, of course, bunch of different kinds of drinks, and it's all very, very good here at Chelino's. They've got our personal guarantee on the Gospel Station. So, all right, well, we're coming back from break, so it's time to get back in the sports talk. We're moving on to the NBA. And Nick, as we transition into this one, I feel like we have to talk about what we were just texting about a little bit. Let's keep it PG, keep it family friendly, but Draymond Green, in an interview he was doing, had some choice words about maybe the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott as a player. And he's getting a little bit of flack from the national media here. They're kind of saying he crossed the line for his words about Prescott.
I mean, what you gonna do? At the point that it's Draymond Green. Like, he's unhinged. He says what's on his mind. He never thinks before he speaks. Draymond will be Draymond, and for some reason we let that man have a platform. If you're gonna let the people who are unhinged on court have a voice off the court, it's just gonna be more of the same.
Now, I've got a fun quote for you here from Marcus Spears. It's a bit rich coming from Draymond Green, who's played with arguably a top 5 player to ever be in the NBA, to come out and say that, like, he's been the catalyst. That's Marcus Spears talking about that Draymond quote. And, Nick, I think you hit the nail on the head right there. It is Draymond Green we're talking about, so you kind of do have to take everything with a grain of salt.
I mean, the difference is Draymond Green won championships.
True.
What has Dak done?
I mean, not won a championship. We can admit that. But that doesn't make me dislike Draymond Green any less, if I'm being honest with you. All right. But that's enough talk about that. We've got to talk about actual NBA news here, Nick. Actual news. And let's kick it off with the Oklahoma City Thunder, off to a best ever 8-0 record here at the start of this season. I think they're the only undefeated team left in the league already.
I believe you're right because I think the one before that was the Bulls and them.
Yeah, and the Bulls are now 6-1. Yeah, so OKC is the only undefeated team left sitting atop the Western Conference.
I mean,
Yeah.
what can you say? They're running the team back. It's a fantastic team. Shea's out there playing like an MVP again. 33 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists per game, a steal and over a block per game. This team is just amazing on both sides of the ball. Every single player they have is an amazing offensive and defensive weapon, or at least an amazing defensive weapon.
So how do you play a team like that? How do you try and combat the defending champions who are off trying to get a 9-0 start, who have one of the best players, if not the best player in the league right now? How do you go in a game against this team and try to come out a victor?
Hope, the power of
Hope.
friendship, a prayer. I mean, at this point, what else can you do? This team is so incredibly good. Just, I mean, players like Alex Caruso are getting buried in the bench. Alex Caruso, who honestly, even at this point now, could be an all defensive and be all NBA defensive player for any team. And he's getting buried on the bench by Adonai Mitchell, Andrew Wiggins, Cason Wallace. Like, the depth is just insane. Every player on this team is so good. At this point, you're kind of just hoping that Shea, when he tries to do one of his flailing, give me a foul, let me send me to the free throw line moves, he accidentally hurts himself along the way and gets taken out for the game. But even then, what are you going to do?
Having to wish on the downfall of the opponent's star players is the only way to combat them. That is something. That is something. They
I mean, they're
are
not
having
even fully healthy. They still, I don't
Yep.
think, Jalen Williams, correct? Yeah, he still hasn't played this season, right? He's still hurt.
Yes,
And
that
he
was
was
the
their
next thing I was
second
going to
best
say.
player last year.
Yep. I think Dort is hurt. Williams is out. Holmgren might be out right now. Yeah, they're still not completely healthy, which is maybe even scarier that they're not at 100% right now. Let's see. What's the schedule looking like tonight? I know we got some big games tonight. Let's see. All right, the game schedule, Wednesday, November 5th. Here we go. I've got it pulled up. The 76ers are taking on the Cavs, and this is all at 6 p.m. right now for this first part. It looks like we've got the Jazz at the Pistons, the Nets at the Pacers, and then the Wizards have the Celtics at 6:30 p.m. So in like 3 minutes. Minnesota has New York. That's the Knicks. The Rockets play the Grizzlies. I'm seeing Pelicans at Mavs, Heat at Nuggets, Spurs and Lakers. Thunder has Portland, and Golden State has Sacramento. Nick, any games in that slate you're keeping your eye on?
Spurs Lakers. I mean, Luca versus Wimby. I'm really excited to see if DeAndre Ayton can do anything against Wimby, because the only time that Wimby has been stopped when the Suns just double teamed him every single time the ball went into the paint. And even then, he still was the defensive player of the year because he still ended the game with 4 blocks and a ridiculous defensive rating.
I mean, you use the word stop very lightly right there, right?
No, I mean, he's been an MVP all year. He's been averaging like over 28 points, and the Suns held him to 9. But even then, I believe the game was still really close at the end of the game. Hold on, I'm looking at that really quick.
Yep, go ahead. While you're going through that, the 76ers year is one to keep an eye on, as is the Golden State right now. Both of those two teams are sitting towards the top of the rankings currently. 76ers, usually a team that is up there but doesn't have that kind of postseason success they're always looking for. And, I mean, Golden State, currently number 6 in the Western Conference. I mean, we were just talking about Draymond. We were just talking about Steph. They're always kind of in position to make a run. So watching their seasons throughout the year, I think, is something to, keep an eye on.
I mean, Jonathan Kuminga is actually playing really, really good this year. He's finally doing those little things that he needed that Steve Kerr always said he would need to do to play. He's rebounding well. He's playing great defense. He's scoring really well. And they finally have that young slashing forward that they've always needed on this team. And now the spacing is really good because now they have Al Horford down there. So now there's not a center in the way. So Kuminga just basically prowls down low completely by himself, and Steph just drags the defense away, and then you just pass to Draymond, cut past Kuminga, and it's free every single time.
Al Horford was actually a pretty big pickup for them, man. I love old man Al. I wish he had stayed a Celtic.
I mean, Al Horford is, as long as he can hit a corner three and continue to play good defense as a center, he will continue to have a spot in this league.
Absolutely, absolutely. Right now, let's look at some stat leaders. VJ Edgecombe leads in points per game at 19.1. He also leads
Go
in total
VJ.
points with 134. 134.
I mean, VJ Edgecombe, his opening night, his first game ever, he drops 34, 38, which is the second most by a rookie on their first game ever, besides Wilt Chamberlain. I mean, anytime you're number two on a stat behind Wilt Chamberlain, you're basically number one. So, I mean,
Yeah,
what can you
and I
say?
didn't.
VJ's just coming out being crazy.
I didn't actually give you the full scope of that one, and I apologize to you, Nick, and to everybody watching because I only said the points. Let's go through some more stats here. Assists per game, Edgecombe leads. Total assists, Edgecombe leads. Steals per game, Edgecombe leads. Total steals, Edgecombe leads.
I mean, the 76ers have one heck of a guard room. Whenever Tyrese Maxey's playing incredible, Edgecombe's playing insane. Oh, I'm forgetting his name right now. He was a rookie last year, but then he got hurt. But when he comes back, he was really good last year. He's going to be really good when he comes back as well. I mean, 76ers have a good little team right now. I'm really excited for the team and just everything. Jared McCain is who I was thinking of. It's a great team. Kelly Oubre is playing really good. Currently, we have a healthy Joel Embiid. Who knows how long that one lasts? But he's playing. He's not playing his best basketball right now, but it's getting picked up, and the whole team just all around is playing incredible. So
Let's go through some more stats here, and I'll get your thoughts on this one. Because it's actually a Charlotte player who leads in a lot of other stats. Rebounds per game and total rebounds. It's Ryan Kalkbrenner, leading at 7.1 per game and 57 overall. Kalkbrenner also leads in blocks per game and total blocks. That's even over guys like Wimby. And I wasn't
I will
expecting
say,
that
I think
out
you're
of
looking at
Charlotte.
the. I think you're looking at the rookie stats overall because
Oh yeah, I might be. You know what? Professionals right here.
But yeah, he's doing really, really good for Charlotte out there. He's a good little 3-and-D center that they have, and he's out there. He's playing really good. Charlotte's not doing great, but between him and LaMelo, they're melding together really well and playing super well together.
Yeah, I'm going to blame NBA for that one because I pulled up their post and the title is NBA stat leaders through week 2 and the link is NBA rookie stats. So I'm blaming NBA for that one. That's not on me. I tell you, every time. Professionals right here, professionals. Nick, I've got to play a fun game with you right here. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
I saw a post. Sintel versus Central. It's a tweet game. Shaq. This was the best part. Shaq and Kevin Hart were playing this one. Guess if it was NBA Central or NBA Sintel who tweeted this. Chet Holmgren's all-time starting five, Nick. Jessica Alba, Megan Fox, Salma Hayek, Sofia Vergara, and Margot Robbie. Was that Sintel or Central?
That's a Central post because I remember seeing this interview.
You saw the interview?
I saw the interview of Chet. This was Chet. Oh, this was last year, I believe, when Chet did this interview and they asked him his starting five, and that's what he said. It.
All right, let's move on to next tweet. This one, this one's a fun one. Fans are tired of this. Load management needs to end. We're supposed to play, not sit. Joel Embiid on why NBA viewership is declining.
Sintel.
What gave that one away?
Joel Embiid.
That's so fair. The guys were honestly honed in on that one as well. All right, next one. This is a fun one for you. I didn't know Luka was important to the fan base. I didn't know quite to this level.
This is Central because I'm pretty sure this is Nico Harrison.
Correct. This was Nico Harrison, and it is an NBA Central tweet. He actually said that.
That man is it's not even working out for him. The whole point of the trade was that we ended up getting the number one pick. Cooper Flagg was supposed to go crazy. Anthony Davis was going to be a star. Kyrie was going to be big for the team. Kyrie's hurt all season. Anthony Davis is already hurt. Cooper Flagg is not looking incredible. And they refuse to run an actual point guard. They keep putting Cooper Flagg in at point guard, and he is not a point guard. He is a forward. Ugh. The Mavs are so mismanaged right now.
I'm opening old wounds. My apologies.
Yes.
All right, here's one for you. Kendrick Perkins says he was the real leader of the Thunder. It doesn't mean your best player is your leader. When I was with the Thunder, it wasn't KD, it wasn't Russ, it wasn't James. I was the one leading. Is that Centel or Central?
I want to say this is Central because that does sound like a Kendrick, like a Perkins quote. That sounds like something he would say.
It unfortunately is something he said. That
Oh,
was
my
an
Lord.
NBA Central.
I do not like that guy. I didn't like him when he was on the Thunder. I like him even less that he's in the media.
He's a divisive figure. I can see that. Last one here. Kevin Durant showed up to Taylor Rooks' wedding with a basketball. Was that a Central or a Centel tweet?
I'm hoping this is Central because I remember seeing a story of Kevin Durant taking a basketball when he was invited to the club and he was out in the club practicing dribble moves instead of talking and socializing. As much as Kevin Durant is not my biggest superstar, he loves basketball and he does not do social things.
So your guess is NBA Central?
Yes.
Well, I regret to inform you that you were not perfect. That was an NBA Centel tweet.
Finally got me. Centel is never wrong, only early.
Only early. There you go. He had enough awareness to not bring the basketball to the wedding. Congratulations, Kevin Durant. Clap it up for KD. All right. That about takes us to the end of this segment. Nick, before we move on and talk some breaking news in baseball, is there anything else you'd like to say about the NBA right now?
Honestly, I'm excited to see what teams are going to start blowing it up here soon with trades and things like that. Trae Young, I wish him the best. I forget what it was. It was a leg injury for Trae, and he's going to be out for a couple of months, I believe. And that's just so rough for Atlanta, who hasn't been playing their best, has not looked great. Trae Young being hurt is going to be really bad for that team, especially with how weak the East is. They were a team that I had a lot of high hopes for this season. So him being out is going to hurt. And when he comes back, I mean, all the talks of him getting traded, I would honestly not be upset with him getting traded to a team like Milwaukee and have him and Giannis running the 1 and 2 up there. But we'll see.
Ooh, that would be interesting. I wonder what they would give back on a Trae Young trade.
Probably Rawlings. He's been really good, young player for them. It'll probably end up being Rawlings, Kuzma, and some form of draft capital. But
all right, well, that takes us right to the end. A quick score update for you. The Cavaliers are leading the Sixers towards the end of the first. As of seeing this, the Pistons and Jazz are tied at 26 apiece. The current winless Nets lead the Pacers 25-18. And our next slate of games are all getting warmed up. They should be starting any minute now. Let's send it to break. We're live at Chelino's Mexican Restaurant, 1227 South Garth Brooks Boulevard in Yukon. 405-350-2006 is the number you should call, or go to chelinos.com and get on the menu there. Open Sunday through Thursday, 10:30 to 9 p.m. and Friday to Saturday, 10:30 to 10. So you can stop by even after some football games and get in here for a quick Mexican dinner at Chelino's. Listen to break when we come back. The final segment of our 2-hour show. This is The Game Plan on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk. Learn about nursing and long-term care at CNA Training Academy, 7463 Northwest 23rd Street. Mary Chikwuma offers affordable, useful, and flexible classes every day that will teach you the foundations of medical care. Mary Chikwuma has been teaching her class for 18 years and is eager to teach you. Understand vital signs, train for and be hired as a PCA, and learn about caring for patients in nursing homes, hospitals, assisted living situations, and more at CNA Training Academy. Call 405-315-1357 and ask about financial qualifications. CNA Training Academy is open to all ages and has classes on the weekend and in the evenings as well. Call CNA now, 405-315-1357, and join classes of people learning about nursing and inspiring each other daily. Looking for fast cash without the hassle? At Red River Credit in Oklahoma City, they've got you covered. They offer auto-secured loans up to $3,660, and the best part, no credit check. Need something different? They also provide traditional installment signature loans with a credit check. Whether you need quick cash or a long-term solution, they're here to help. Enjoy cash-friendly service with easy access online at redrivercredit.com. You can apply in person at 4571 Northwest 23rd Street, Suite A in Oklahoma City. Call 405-440-0582.
The parking lots are full because it's always a celebration at Chelino's Mexican Restaurant in Yukon at 1227 Garth Brooks Boulevard in the Chisholm Shopping Center. With a traditional flair of Mexican casual dining where your meal always begins with complimentary chips, cheese, and salsa. Then a lengthy menu selection from fajitas, tacos, enchiladas, fish tacos, and so much more. You don't have to be shy at Chelino's. Ask for our daily specials and finish your meal with our sopapilla or pick something from our dessert menu. Oklahomans have chosen Chelino's Mexican Restaurants in Yukon at 1227 Garth Brooks Boulevard in the Chisholm Shopping Center. Call 405-350-2006.
Bahubi Food at 501 South Mustang Road in Yukon serves up a delicious menu of Vietnamese traditional food, including rice noodle soup, Korean short rib and rice, seared ribeye platter, lemongrass beef noodles, and much more. Then top it off with Vietnamese desserts, smoothies, refreshers, coffees, and teas. Take your taste buds out to experience Bahuvi Food in Yukon. Open Monday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Closed on Wednesday. Locally owned and operated with smiles and appreciation. Bahuvi Food in Yukon.
At the home of the Gotta Have It, you'll find Apple Tree Antique Gallery, located in the heart of downtown Bethany at 6740 Northwest 39th Expressway. Enjoy spacious shopping with up to 77 unique vendors across more than 10,000 square feet, offering everything from jewelry and clothing to one-of-a-kind treasures and so much more. Don't miss our third Friday weekend specials every month, and yes, we're open Sundays. Call us at 495-0602. Apple Tree Antique Gallery in Bethany, home of the Gotta Have It.
And that brings us right back out of break for the final time here on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk. We're live at Chelino's, 1227 South Garth Brooks Boulevard. Kind of sad that we're now at our final segment. I wish I could stay out here all night and eat some great Mexican food. I've got my order in. It's on the way, folks. $8.99 enchilada night here at Chelino's. Stop by. You've still got time because they're open till 9 p.m. tonight. 405-350-2006 is the number to call. Great, spacious, open dining room area with super friendly staff and great food. Well, again, we're on our final segment, so thank you to everybody that has been tuning in, both online and on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk Facebook page. It's been another great episode so far on this Wednesday evening. This weekend, a show tomorrow over at Taco Bueno, back on Northwest Expressway, and then Friday we've got football games, with Saturday maybe bringing you some college action. We'll see what happens, but that's neither here nor there. I guess it's technically there. That's not right what we're talking about right now. Right now, we got to get into some Major League Baseball talk because, Nick, there's still news. Trades are already coming through, and, of course, we've got to talk about some of these awards that have been awarded.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's get into it. Let's start MLB. First thing I'm going to ask, do the Tigers send away Skubal? What are your thoughts?
I hope not. Detroit deserves to have some kind of good sport going on for them. Right now, they have a bunch of teams doing really good. The Lions are doing good. The Pistons finally pulling it together. It's about time we have some good sports over in Detroit. And Scooball's been a star for them. They were a really good team last season. They have young players. Honestly, if anyone needs to lead that team, it's Baez. But I hope they don't give away Scooball. But the trade talks or the contract talks between them have, from what I've saw last, have not been very pretty.
No, I haven't heard much of an update on that end either. Hope he goes to Boston, personally. One team that has re-signed one of their stars. Toronto is bringing back Shane Bieber. He's exercised his player option for the 2026 season. They're going to try to gear back up for another World Series run, and they're getting the starting pitcher back to do it.
I hope so. They should have won this last time just so I don't have to hear Dodger fans, but...
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Holy crap. Okay, let's move on from that one real quick. Some other big names moving on to the free agency. Kyle Schwarber, Alex Bregman. Both of those going to test. Hopefully the Red Sox bring back Bregman. I would like that. But with names like Pete Alonso also being thrown out there, where do we think some of these big sluggers are going to end up?
I mean, I've seen stuff for Schwarber to the Rangers, which I would be incredibly happy with because that's literally all we needed was a big bat last season. So hopefully we can get something together. And I hope Bregman comes back to the Astros just so I can wear my Bregman jersey again. But honestly, he was really good on the Red Sox. He put together a good season there. If he goes back there, he'd be fine. But I really hope Bregman goes to a team that really, really needs him because he is a fantastic player. Same thing for Schwarber. I just hope he doesn't go to the Yankees or the Dodgers. That's all I hope for at this point.
We need him. We need him. We really need him. I will happily bring back both Bregman and Schwarber. Please. Love those guys. Another name here I'll pick you up for. The Royals are bringing back catcher Salvador Perez, 2-year extension there, and Sale is staying in Atlanta. He's picked up on the $18 million club option for 2026.
I mean, Chris Sale, he was a Cy Young candidate all the way up till near the end of the season, if I'm not mistaken. And Atlanta they need to fix up their team. They need to get healthy. Last year was just a lot of injuries from what I remember. And hopefully they can pull it all together and have a good team again because they were a great team 2 seasons ago. And then, who was the other name? I'm sorry.
Salvador Perez, catcher for the Royals.
I mean, Salvi is what, almost 40 years old now. Shout out to him for still being in the league. Shout out to him for still playing pretty good baseball. And I mean, if he had gone anywhere else, it wouldn't be the same. If I'm not mistaken, Salvi's been a Royal his entire career, at least as far back as I can remember. So,
he is
the heart and soul of that team. So,
is he really that old?
He was old when they made a World Series run. He was already in his 30s. He's 35?
He's 35.
That's old for sports.
That's old for a catcher, especially.
That's really old for a catcher. How is his knees holding up? Oh.
That's what I'm wondering.
I played high school catcher, and my knees make me regret it every day.
He's battling with 22-year-old Carter Jensen for that catcher spot on their depth chart at the end of the year. 35 and 22. How about that age gap?
I mean, there's no one better to learn from. Shoot.
No, that's true. That's true there. Keeping an eye on all these news, obviously, as it pops up. We're going to have a big offseason for baseball. We talked a little bit about Toronto and the Dodgers in the World Series. You know, Toronto's going to look to bring back a lot of their pieces, make another World Series run. But one thing that appears to be in question, Yu Darvish. He's going to miss all of 2026. He underwent ulnar collateral ligament repair surgery last Wednesday. Now missing this whole next season. What is Yu Darvish's future looking like out in San Diego?
Honestly, I don't know how much longer he's going to be in the league. I mean, when it comes down to it, Yu Darvish's big thing is that he throws like 30 different pitches. He has so many different pitches. He always has. Even back when he was on Texas, he had a bunch of pitches. He gets hurt pretty often. He's a great pitcher when he's healthy, but at this point, if I'm not mistaken, he's also getting up there.
Yeah, he's 39 right now.
Yeah. He'll miss another season. That means he'll be playing when he's 40. Major arm surgery. Whole thing being that his big thing is that he throws so many different pitches. I don't know how long he'll be in the league, especially as a starter.
He finished the season, looks like, with a 5-5 record, an ERA over 5, 68 strikeouts. I mean, he's old, man. That's just you're right. Major arm surgery when you're old. He's not a knuckleballer, so could be a less than perfect end for Darvish, which would be really sad to see. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hoping for it by any means, but it's just kind of the reality of a situation like that,
Yeah.
Nick, have you been keeping up with the award announcements any? Because Boston has 2 Gold Glove outfielders on our team right now.
I have not. And I'm not surprised. Outfielder, I mean, who are y'all's outfielders this season? It was
Sadon, Willier, Roman, and Jaron Duran. And
what you said.
Sadon and Willier won it.
I will say Boston tends to always have amazing outfield defense. I don't know who y'all's outfield coach is, but that guy is very good at his job.
The spring training schedules have been announced. That's out. There's also the World Baseball Classic. I think those pools have just been announced again. Let me see if I can find those real quick. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that one in time real quick. I did see, Nick, speaking of Centel tweets, I did see a baseball parody tweet about the World Baseball Classic pools. I'm going to have to find that and send that to you later. I'm sorry. I'm going off script here. It had some funny stuff in it. And it's not stuff I really want to talk about on air, but it would get you a good laugh, I promise.
Send it to me. I will very much enjoy it.
I will. I'm going to have to find it. What are we thinking of Freddie Freeman's dance moves? Did you see him hit the worm, dude?
I did not, but I want to, because isn't Freddie Freeman like 6'7" or something like that? He is a very tall dude. I am enticed by this. I have to find this now.
Yes, please find the video. He hits it. It's smooth. And of course, it was Kike Hernandez who was pushing him to get on the dance floor. Guys, to everybody listening, if you have not been keeping up with Kike Hernandez on social media following that World Series victory,
he has been a legend.
That has been the best part of the Dodgers World Series win, has been looking at Kike Hernandez posts on all of the social media.
Man, I will say, I just watching it now, everything up to his get up, Freddie Freeman absolutely got it down. That was impressive. That is everything I hoped it would be. And Kiki Hernandez, that man is just a frat boy who never stopped. Every time I see him, I think he's just like some college kid going crazy.
He pretty much is. Oh, that's funny. Hey, get this. Jeremy Hefner and Antoine Richardson are joining the Braves coaching staff. Some ex-Mets getting in there in Walt Weiss's staff. The Mets have been kind of they've been in a Mets situation. I've got no other way to put it. High payroll, not getting the results they wanted. Now they're seeing some people leave and some pieces kind of move. The Mets outlook for next season. They've got some stars still, but what's it going to take for NYM to get back into that World Series conversation?
They're going to need to leave New York, change their identity, become a completely different team, and just never be the Mets again. Because as long as they are the New York Mets, they will always be the Mets.
The Mets. That's our version of the Bears is the Mets.
The Bears.
The Bears. All right. Well, we've got a little bit of time left here on our show. Nick, have you seen any breaking news that you would like to chat about real quick?
So I wanted to mention this during the football talk. I forgot about it until just a little bit ago. Did you hear the news about the Giants GM and the trade deadline?
The New York Giants GM. Yes.
He did not know what day the deadline was and was shocked to find out it was Tuesday and rushed into the office. And to my knowledge, the Giants did not make a single trade before the deadline.
Have not seen a move from the Giants.
This is the same guy who didn't sign Saquon because his son said not to. And then there was another player that he ended up not drafting because his son said his Madden rating was too low. I'm sorry. The Giants GM has to be he might not be the worst GM because he drafts well. He does have some good players, but he has to have be the biggest source of comedy, like impractical Joker style of comedy going on over in New York.
It can always be worse, right? It can always be worse. By the way, for those that were wondering, the Giants general manager is Joe Schoen. Yeah, it was reported, I think, first by Wesley Steinberg, said he thought the trade deadline was Wednesday, not Tuesday. And yeah, they didn't get anything done.
This is the team that you're letting beat you in the division, Luke.
They're not beating us. We're ahead of the Giants right now. Okay, but get this. Since we're talking about the Giants record after the first 9 games with their old GM Dave Gettleman, they were 1-7-1, 2-7, 2-7, 2-7. With Joe Schoen, 6-2-1, 2-7, 2-7, 2-7. Nothing has changed in New York. Even with the electric rookies, nothing has changed. Not a thing.
They changed the turf. Maybe something would change. They could stop hurting all their players over and over forever and ever with that MetLife turf. Then maybe something will change. But
speaking of that's good for you and Alexander and all those guys because you still play on grass in Philadelphia, so there's a little bit less risk.
Man, I hope so. Jair Alexander, he's been hurt all season. Like he was on the Ravens. That's who we traded for to get him. The Ravens picked him up in free agency. He's been hurt most of the season, and I hope Jair is really good. I hope he's something good for us this year. We need it. We deserve it. We've suffered so much as a Philly team. I mean, come on.
All right, as we head towards breaking the end of our show, Major League Baseball has announced that spring training opens on February 20th. 7 games right there, including Yankees, Orioles, Cubs, White Sox, and Red Sox, of course, with the Classic versus Northeastern University. That's always one of the fun ones right there. The Dodgers start on the 21st. They've got the Angels, and it looks like, real quick, go down the list here, exhibition games from March 22nd to 24th, and then we get on to the season a little bit past that. So already looking ahead to next year right there. Going to be some new faces on new teams. Hopefully Boston gets Schwarber and Alonso and Skubal and who else is on the list there? I was going to say let's bring back Devers. Let's probably not do that after some of what was gone out there. But let's get some other big names. Let's have Christian Campbell come back up and hit like 500 again. Going to be a good year for the Red Sox. Not as delusional a Red Sox fan as we are Cowboys fans. Don't worry about it.
Sure.
All right. Well, we're at the end of our show. Nick, anything else you'd like to say before we send it off?
No, that'll be all for me, my friend.
All right. Thank you for coming on the show. It was a fun one. I got to get you and Tori on for a show in the future, so let's get that worked out.
That'll be a fun little shout out to the original trio.
Yeah, an all-star lineup, if you will.
Truly an all-star trio.
All right, folks. Thank you for tuning in. This has been the Game Plan on the Gospel Station Sports and Talk. We're out at Chelino's for just a little bit longer here, 1227 South Garth Brooks Boulevard. Call 405-350-2006 or head to the website, chelinos.com. I've got my dinner out here. I'm going to get a hold of that. Thank you one more time for tuning in, and thank you one more time to Nick Thomas for coming on the show. We'll see you tomorrow where we've got more shows and Friday for football. But until then, this is Luke Young signing off. Have a great rest of your night.